Hey there. So if you're here, I'm guessing your laundry day has ground to a screeching halt thanks to a really annoying error code. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how to figure out and fix one of the most common problems on Whirlpool front loaders, that pesky F6 or E6 error. Right. So you're staring at that blinking F6 or E6 on the display. It's frustrating, I know. It stops the cycle cold and you're probably picturing a huge repair bill. But here's the good news. Take a deep breath. This is an extremely common error, and honestly, in almost every single case, it is something you can absolutely fix yourself with just a couple of basic tools. We're going to walk through this step by step. Okay, let's dive right in. See, to fix a problem, you first have to understand what the machine is actually trying to tell you. So what in the world is a heater system fault? This error code, F6 or E6, it's all about one specific system. The electric heating circuit. Think of it like the coil inside an electric kettle. Its one and only job is to heat the water. When you see this error, it just means the washer's brain has spotted a problem in that circuit and has shut everything down as a safety precaution. So the main control board, the brains of the operation, it's constantly checking on three things. First, is electricity flowing through the heating element like it should be? Second, is the water actually getting warmer? And third, is all that electricity playing by the rules and staying where it belongs? If it gets a no to any of those questions, bam, you get the error code. Now, here's what's really interesting about this specific error. While a few things could be wrong, it turns out that one single part is the bad guy almost all of the time. Let's go ahead and identify our prime suspect. Yeah, you see that right. In about 95% of all F6 or E6 error cases, the cause is the exact same failure. And that is fantastic news for us because it means we know exactly where to point our finger. And the culprit is the heating element itself. That's it. Just like the filament in an old light bulb, these things can just burn out over time, or they can develop a dangerous short. Our job now is to prove it's guilty. So this brings us to the most important part of this whole thing: safely testing that element to confirm it's the problem. And I really want to stress that keyword, safely. Look, before you even think about picking up a tool, you must unplug the washer from the wall outlet. I cannot say this enough. This circuit uses high voltage. Your safety is the #1 priority here. Seriously, no shortcuts. All right, with the machine totally unplugged, we're going to run two really simple tests using a multimeter. The first test tells us if the element is just burned out. The second one, which is a critical safety check, tells us if it's shorting out and has become dangerous. Together, these two tests will give us our definitive answer. Okay, for test #1, the continuity check, you're just going to touch your multimeter probes to the two main terminals on the heater. A good, healthy element will give you a resistance reading somewhere between, say, 10 and 50 ohms. But if your meter shows OL for open line, well, that means the pathway inside is broken. The part is toast, it's done. Now, for the second and arguably more important safety test, put one probe on a heater terminal and the other probe right on the metal case of the heater. On this test, OL is what you want to see. That means there's no electricity leaking out. If you get any reading at all, even a flicker, it means there's a dangerous short. The element is leaking electricity and you've got to replace it immediately. So, what happens if your heating element passes both tests with flying colors? It's pretty rare, but it does happen. For that other 5% of cases, we just need to quickly check a few other small parts that live in the same circuit. So here are the other potential culprits. You've got two thermostats, and both of those should show continuity, which looks like a reading close to 0 ohms. Then there's the thermistor. That's just a fancy name for the temperature sensor. It should read somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 ohms. If any of these parts read OL, well, you found your problem. And your very last check is the easiest of all. Just use your eyes. Follow the wires from the heater assembly back towards the main control board. You're looking for anything that just doesn't look right. Any dark spots, melted plastic, or wires that look frayed or damaged. Sometimes it's just a bad connection. All right, we have gathered all of our clues. We've done our detective work. Now let's put it all together into a really simple, clear flowchart that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to fix this thing. Here it is, your entire game plan. If the heater failed any of our two tests, you just replace the heating element. Simple. If the heater's good, but a thermostat is bad, you replace the thermostat. Though honestly, they usually come with a new heater anyway. If the thermistor is bad, replace that. And only, and I mean only, if every single one of these other parts tests perfectly, should you even start to think it might be the main control board. So, why are we going through all this trouble? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's about the money. A new heater assembly, which remember, solves this problem 95% of the time, is usually less than $100. A professional coming out to do the exact same job could easily cost you 2 or 3 times that. The savings here are huge.
And when you're ready to actually do the replacement, just keep these 4 little tips in mind. First, make sure you get the exact part number for your specific washer model. Second, always use the brand new rubber gasket that comes with the part. Third, a tiny bit of silicone lube on that gasket helps it slide in and creates a perfect leak-proof seal. And finally, when you tighten that center nut, get it nice and snug, but don't go crazy and over-tighten it. You don't want to risk cracking the plastic. So there you have it. You've diagnosed the problem, you've identified the culprit, and you know exactly how to fix it safely and for way less money. The only real question left is, are you ready to be the hero of your laundry room?